Hello everybody, this is Make It Better, and today we're doing what deku was a singer slash idol part 18, I believe. Let's get right into it. Now, since that happened, Zuko slowly did that during the night. Quietly, but slowly. All the way till it becomes morning. He was playing it during the whole night. If Kyoka or Bakugo wakes up. And so they didn't, and Zuko was really tired that he stopped for a moment to take his breather. As he stopped and sit right next to Juro and held her hand as he went to sleep. A few moments, a few hours has passed by, and he hears a knocking from the door. After no answer, they walked in, and it's Bakugo's parents. They came in, sees Bakugo all bandaged up and still wounded and still out cold. And they were asking for a doctor, and this commotion wakes up Zuko. Zuko looks over and see, oh, hi, auntie, as Miss Bakugo, Mitsuki looks over to Zuko, gave him a huge hug, saying that it's been so long, been forever. Why didn't you come to our home and talk and all these other stuff? But when she realized where she is, she stops and asks, "Do you know the specifics about Bakugo?" And Zuko does. So he explained all the things, and he did lose some blood, but he's trying to recover that much. He does not know when the doctor said, but he remembers something like 2 to 3 days until he gets out of the hospital. As they are relieved, they stay there for a moment and they talk about how Inko was and some stuff. Moving on, about lunchtime, they have decided to leave because they both do work, so they had to go for their jobs. Zuko was getting hungry as well, so he went out and get some food. As he come back to the hospital, the nurses and doctors were asking for Zuko as Zuko was passing by them. When they recognized the green hair, they asked if we could have a word with him. Zuko said, okay. And they asked if he is truly capable of healing patients of whatever disease they have. Zuko said, kind of. As long as they're awake and they are hearing my voice directly and no. Sorry about that. Something came up and I had to answer. So he explained this to the doctors, and the doctor said, okay, are you here for a patient of yours? And Zuko said, yeah, they're in the next room. The doctor said, okay, I'll make a deal with you. Since you'll be helping us out with many things, I will help you with, you are forever exempt from the rule of visiting hours. Time in between does not apply to him or you. Zuko says, okay. And so the nurses takes Zuko, directs him to a few rooms, see how the family is worried, sick for this and their a family member of all ages. Zuko said, okay. and he starts singing. And he can't really think of any good songs, so he just sang a melody, one of those three, where it's soothing for the family and for the patient itself. It sealed up all the wounds that was causing the most pain. But when they passed out, Zuko stopped immediately and told the doctor and the family that if they are not conscious, I won't be able to get through to them and heal the rest. And he leaves the room. The nurse actually left a folder of every room that needs to be done. She gave it to Zuko and left. And Zuko proceeded to go through each one. He did two already, and on the third one, some of the family members are actually big fans of Zuko. Not so much that they will fanboy of him to the point of no return, but just enough where they start tearing up when they get to see him. So Zuko gave them some autographs, remind him on the good days, getting him in a better mood, and start singing for their loved one. All the way till when there's 10. The last room, Zuko's voice is a little scrappy, but can keep going. He decided to go back to the original area. And he just hear beeping, air pumping, and it was all for Kyoka and Bakugo. And Bakugo, after he walks in, he knocks, like being very polite. No answer, and he walks in. He checks on Bakugo first and sees all good. Everything that he needs to check is all good. But when he looks over to Kyoka, she still has not moved. And it kind of worries him. But he picks up his violin and play it all the way till the visit around 11. Because I believe it's 10 that they stopped having people visit, and 11 where everybody had to leave. And Zuko start playing the song. He sees some movement, and he stops, check if anybody's awake, and went back to playing. A few seconds pass. Bakugo yelled out to quit that racket. Let me sleep. And Zuko said, well, at least you're awake. I was kind of losing hope. But Bakugo said, where am I? Why are you here? And Zuko said, just shut up and let me heal you. As he cleared his voice and starts singing a lullaby. Bakugo doesn't want to listen to it, but Zuko just covers his mouth and tells him to listen. In a few seconds after his song, Bakugo's wounds are fully healed. All the scratch marks that wouldn't have lasted for another 3 weeks are completely gone. Bakugo is feeling more energized, as you can say. So he quit struggling, making it difficult for Zuko to actually heal him. A few minutes after the song is over, Zuko looks over to Bakugo, asks if there's any more damage that I need to do. Which Bakugo said no. It feels weird that you healed me at the same time. I don't like it. Zuko said, but are you okay? Which Baku said, yes, I am. Okay. Zuko said, well, it is the middle of the night, and your parents did came in around this time and left around this time. which Bakugo is um, generally happy that Zuko told him about his parents. And Bakugo said, okay. He looks to the right and sees another bed, and it's occupied. Bakugo asks, who's that? And Zuko said, it's Kyoka. Bakugo said, who? And Zuko said, it's Jiro. They said, oh, he said, oh. Zuko said, yeah. Okay, you can go back to sleep. I'll tell the doctor in the morning that you have recovered all your injuries. Which Bakugo did and immediately goes back to sleep. The next day comes in the morning when one of the first nurses come in and check through the rooms to make sure that none of them escape. She checked to Zuko's room, and Zuko was still standing there playing. And the nurse actually, from the night before and the night before that, she chose to stay there a little longer to enjoy the song, the music. It's sad and it's pulling her heartstrings, but it's really relaxing her to the core. As she was about to leave, Zuko actually stopped and said, wait, one more thing. As she said, yes, being a little surprised that he noticed her as he was closed his eyes the whole time. Zuko explained that this patient has woken up from the middle of the night. I had the chance to heal his wounds, and whenever the doctor has a chance to come through here, you may as well wake him up. He should be up by this time, as he says, around lunch. She understood this and left. Now, as Zuko was still playing us his song, Bakugo was somewhat awake but still sleeping. He was in that state where he doesn't want to wake up. The bed was too comfortable. And then they hear a knock. Bakugo looks over and Zuko looks over. And Zuko said, come in, I guess. And when they finally come in, it's Jiro's parents, finally. They're rushing towards the first bed and seeing it's a guy. Zuko directs them towards the other bed with a pointing of his bow towards the other bed. They said thank you and looked over to Kyoka, and she sees her kind of frail body, very covered in bandages and some blood going into her system, as well as liquids and a pump. They're kind of tearing up and worried about her well-being this whole time. But Zuko actually informs them that she's okay, but she has not waken up, which they are appreciated and ask, "Oh, what's your Okay, let me do one thing first. I have tried to find the video on him if he ever met with Kyoko's parents officially. I know that she talked about it, but I'm not sure if they did it officially. So this will be the awkward first meeting of Zuko and Kyoko's relationship. I'm sorry if you guys think. If I did, I'm sorry. If I didn't, well, here we go. And I just made a fool of myself. Here we go. Oh, just bopping my back. Okay, back to it. Zuko explained the little information that they needed to be relief of some stress. And they finally asked, and who are you, young man? Zuko said, oh, I'm Zuko Midoriya. And they said, okay, why are you here? Zuko said, I'm here for both Kyoka and Bakugo. Which Bakugo was awake at this point and said, and just waved and went back to his reading of a book. And they asked, well, the father asked, and what's your relationship with my daughter? Which Zuko said, oh, I'm not sure if she told you, but we're dating. And they say, oh, are you the young man? No. You seem too normal. Which it was supposed to be a backhanded compliment insult. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Zuko said, yeah, I'm not really dressed for the part. And sorry I haven't had a chance to meet with you, but so much things have happened since training camp. Which they kind of understand, but they're more focused on Kyoka, asking if he could leave for a moment. Zuko says, sure, I'll inform the doctor to come in, which Zuko did. Few minutes has gone by, Zuko comes back inside, and to his surprise, Kyoka is awake. During that time, her mother was kind of like pushing on her face, tapping on it, kind of. I'm not sure if you got to hear that, but on her cheek and seeing if she would wake up. And a few seconds, when her mother did that a few times, she finally awakened. She was panicking at first, but seeing her parents being there relaxed her just enough and be calm. When Zuko came in with the doctor, he was surprised to see Kyoka. He immediately ran towards her, moving and getting in between her and her mother, and asking if she's okay. Are you hurt anywhere? And he's kind of like tearing up, tears going down his face, where her parents saying down, see how worthy he was really to Kyoka, as so much even more than they were. And Zuko is just asking her more questions until Bakugo said, hey, calm down, nerd. Which Zuko took a deep breath. Okay, Kyoka, are you okay? As he's like shakily touching her arm, and hopefully she's answered. And she kind of looks over to Zuko and said, why are you so tired? She's very exhausted. She has not gained a lot of her blood back, even though it was 2 days. But Zuko said, okay, can you still hear me? Which she said, and she kind of nods up and down. Zuko said, okay. Alright, here we go. As he just sit right next to her, holding her hand, and he starts singing a lullaby. The doctor has a chance to see Zuko act or perform for the first time for patients. And when he starts singing, Kyoka is just sitting there, laying actually, enjoying the song and knowing that it will heal her mentally and physically. After the song was over, she can feel a lot better, to a point where she can get up off of the bed. But the doctor informed her to stay there, and we'll do some more tests to make sure you're fully healed. And with that, he looks to Zuko and bow, thanking him, and leaves the room. Zuko, just very happy, looking at Jiro, said, you missed a lot. But Jiro just, what happened after I passed out? Which Zuko explained the fight against All Might and One for All, Zuko helping out All Might, and doing the secret move, skill that he didn't want to do on anybody else. She asked, you mean the 5 times? And Zuko said, yeah, that one. that took a lot out of me, but it was okay. She looks back over to her parents and they see how Zuko and Kyoka is talking to each other as if they've been together for years and years, as if they were perfect for each other. So her father asked Zuko a bunch of questions about him and her and if they have done anything inappropriate, which Zuko bluntly said no. We did not do anything inappropriate to my standards. I'm not sure about your standards. Which the father gets. And would you like to tell me what is your exactly is your standards? And Zuko said, sure. We basically hold hands, hug, and study. I think we kissed. Have we kissed? Yeah, we have kissed a few times, but nothing serious. And her mother is just very happy for her daughter finding a very nice young man. Zuko said, okay, let me just put these two instruments away. As he put it away, the father asked, are you a musician by any chance? And Zuko said, yeah, you can say something like that. And the father said, I have seen you before, but I can't put my finger on it. Were you like in part of a band of some sorts? And Zuko said, yeah, but it's been a while since I mentioned them. I'm not sure if you know them, but the band I used to go being along in was Imagine Dragons. Which now it's clicking to the father that, wait, aren't you... No. Can't be. I thought you... No. It's that little interaction of can't believing it. But when he finally say, are you Skull by any chance? Which Zuko said, yeah, I am. Which now the father is very happy to get to meet with Zuko, a young prodigy, and would like to ask more questions about what kind of instruments can he play. So Zuko talked with the father about every instrument that he could play, but two things: the harmonica and the triangle, which gave a chuckle to the father. But Zuko said, "But really, I can play them all." And the father just happily enjoyed this conversation. Man, 20 minutes of this. That's pretty good. Should I stop here or keep going? I'll keep going. So after that day, the doctor ran some tests saying that they're both fully healthy and were able to get out of the hospital the very next day. So they do. Bakugo leaves by himself with his mother and left. Kyoka actually left with Zuko back to the dorms. But as they were about to go to the direction of the dorms, Kyoka was given a call by her parents and having asked her if they will come for dinner at their home. Which Kyoka said, okay, you want me to take Zuko? And they said, yes. Take him as well. So she does, explaining Zuko that they seem more excited to meet him than their only daughter, but whatever. Which Zuko just takes a compliment and, well, be a very gentleman in the family home. After the families had their time with their daughter and Zuko, they finally get to the dorms. And when they get and enter through the dorm doors, everybody in there was questioning Kyoka and Bakugo. Well, Bakugo first because he was there first. But after an hour of Kyoka and Zuko coming in, they all asked questions about Zuko and Kyoka on everything. And Mineta came round in the corner asking, "Did you guys do anything of the spicy stuff?" And Zuko said, "No, I would never take advantage of her like that." Which gave some girls some glares at Mineta, but Kyoka kind of blushing at that remark. But Zuko getting really tired, saying, "Hey, girls and guys, I'm gonna hit the hay. I'm really tired today." And he went to his room, opening it, closing it, immediately get on the bed. After the questions were answered by everybody from Kyoka, she, instead of going into her room, she knocks on Deku's room. Zuko did not answer, and she checked the door, and it was unlocked. So she walked right in, closing the door, locking it, seeing Zuko sleeping there on the bed, all peaceful, and she just kind of lay right next to him, feeling his warmth, feeling how calming he is. And before she knew it, she was falling asleep into Zuko's arms. When the morning has wakened, Zuko is kind of yawning but not having his eyes open. He stretches on his left arm and it's all good. When he moves his right arm, he can't move it. So he opens his eyes, kind of blurry, looks over to his right to see what's in the way, and he sees Kyoka sleeping right next to him. And Zuko can't help it but be happy about this. He, instead of moving out of the way, moved his left arm on top of her and giving her a huge hug as he goes right back to sleep. A few minutes has passed by. He hears a knock and a yell from Bakugo saying that breakfast is ready. Wake up, you damn nerd, and eat. And this awakened Kyoka, not Zuko. Zuko is kind of asleep, but he's opening up his eyes almost the same time as Kyoka is. And she is beet red. She sees the situation she's in, can't explain what she's doing in his room, but Zuko kind of smiles, half sleeping, half not, said, "Hey, good morning, Songbird." And he goes right back to sleep. Kyoka pushing him away, saying, "Oh, and she gets back up, still dressed as the same one that she was wearing last night, and said, "Oh, she tried to explain," but Zuko, after the moment, said, "It's okay, it's okay." Breakfast ready? Let's eat some food. As Kyoka said, yeah, let's do that. As Kyoka immediately leaves his room, all embarrassed-like, and she accidentally run into Uraka. Uraka asks how Kyoka's doing and how she seems very awake right now, as she's as Uraka is yawning herself, and scratching her bed hair. And she looks and sees Zuko's door is open. And Zuko just was right there, closed the door right back, and changed. And Uraka, even in her sleeping stage, she connected the dots and said, "You and Zuko?" That really hyped up, raises her heartbeat, Uraka's of course, and was about to ask a question, but Kyoka immediately leaves into her room, slamming the door and acting like nothing happened. After that day happened, everybody gets situation and back smooth over, and now it's time for the training. They're in class, and Aizawa tells them that they need to train for a special move, as he directs them to a gym and tells them all that they need to perfect or create a special move for the pro license exam. As he explained more things about it, Zuko and everybody around in his class are thinking about their special move. But Zuko knows what he can do, but he actually asked the teacher or Aizawa if he could have a test subjects or a strong teachers he needs help with. Aizawa asked him, why would you need something like this? You need create your special move first and then ask for help. But Zuko said, well, I already have one, but I haven't trained it as often as I would like to. And Aizawa asked, and what can you do? Which Zuko said, can we move on the next room? I don't want them to get affected by it. As they do, he's sighing, but he agrees as they're in the hallway, and Zuko said, okay, here we go. He put himself in the deepest voice as he can and tells Aizawa to sit down. And immediately Aizawa sit down. And then Zuko says, stand up, and then salute and then salute. After those three, Zuko stopped and started coughing. Basically, if he was sick, a lot. Almost some blood, but not enough. Aizawa asked, what was that? Why couldn't I move my body? And Zuko, after the coughing fit was over, told Aizawa that that was his special move, but he wasn't able to train it during his other times, focusing on everything else. But Aizawa said, thinks to himself, if he perfected that move, he is gonna be overpowered as hell. Which Aizawa very happily said, okay, I'll direct you some teachers that are free at this time. And Zuko very appreciated this and went off. And during this week, Zuko and Kyoka were seen going into each other's room at the same time, but never seen exiting each other's room. Until the fourth day. And this will be a Thursday, when Mineta sees Kyoka leaving Zuko's room in the morning, as she was about to go change. Zuko and Mineta, being jealous of all, tells everybody in the dorm what's going on. That he saw Jiro leaving Zuko's room in the morning. And that is when Zuko said, yeah, I thought you guys knew that, as he was just sitting down eating some cereal. But Jiro was not in that area right now. So the guys asked if he did something spicy. Zuko said, what do you mean by spicy? And Mineta, being the pervert and not worried about the after effects, said, did you have sex with Kyoka? Are you guys sleeping together? Which Zuko immediately said, no, we're not doing something like that. But Jiro, coming in, hearing this, extremely blush comes all over her face, and she immediately will walk away from this conversation. She does not want to add on to that. So that little interaction happened. Another week has passed, and Gyoka at one of this moment is sleeping right next to Zuko. Zuko actually, after changing into his pajamas, he sees that Juro is sleeping and facing away of him. So he was on edge, but not so much. And he kind of gave her a kiss on the forehead. She kind of gave a little smirk, which notifies Zuko that she is awake. So Zuko pretending to take off his pants, having zips and more zippers, opening and closing the door. Kyoka immediately wakes up, looks over to the door, sees that it was closed, and breathes heavily until she looks over to the corner and sees Zuko standing there, which gave that little notion that Zuko knew that she was awake and wanted to catch her on the act. That little scene happened. They said, okay, I'm not gonna ask. I'm really tired. Next time, don't pretend. As she tried her best not to look to him lustfully. I can't say the word. Sorry. So Zuko gets on his bed in the same position as always. Kyoka lays on his arm. But in this one, Zuko actually rubbed her up as giving her and giving a pillow of I'm losing words. Crap. He starts cuddling with Juro, which Juro's really enjoying this whole thing, being the little spoon, of course. Which Zuko put in a little notch higher, and gave her a kiss on the forehead. Juro blushed immediately, saying that it's not fair that you get to kiss her, that you didn't get to kiss me like that, as she gets up closer to Zuko's face and kissing him on the cheek, which becoming a play fight of sorts of Zuko and Juro kissing each other anywhere on the face and on the neck, until they immediately have their heart racing just a bit and kiss each other for real for a long time on the lips. And as they separate, having their foreheads lean on to each other, they finally fell asleep. And that is when I'm gonna end this video. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Also, I would like to say thank you for the 273 subscribers. Thank you. I'm very happy about that. But here was the other reason I want to say. I am finding some more abilities that Zuko could do in the next series. Not for his ghost, not for his singer what if, but more of his next power. What would it be and all of that. And I'm gonna put up a video of 2 or 3 quirks that I will come up with. And yeah, basically that. I'll put more detail on that video, but right now, hopefully you guys can wait for another week for this. Probably that's gonna be it for this. Have a nice day. Thank you. Goodbye.